Well, I want to get into a novel way of using two Beck designed zappers. And Beck, Dr. Robert Beck, Robert C. Beck, or Bob Beck, PhD, designed blood electrification devices. Now, his standard device was at 3.915 hertz, which is slow. You know, it goes positive, negative, 3.915 times a second, which is half the human Earth resonance, right, which is 7.83. Now, supposedly, that helps with bringing in more oxygen uptake and nutrients into the cells, improves the ATP. So, I don't know. You know, I mean, you can't make any claims, but a lot of people feel like they get more energized after they use the device a while. But they don't, if you don't want to start out doing it too much, because in the beginning it seems to knock out a lot of microbes, and you got to give your body some time to clear out the toxins from the dead microbes. Now, there's other theories out there that various frequencies are more attuned to certain microbes. In other words, certain microbes don't like certain frequencies, and that helps to get rid of them. Not perfect, but it helps. Dr. Royal Rice supposedly combined several frequencies, so they wouldn't have, like, I'm wearing a thing right now, so if you look at this, whatever, but it's a, it would be like a square wave maybe, but it might be a square wave with a jagged top, and then it goes down, it goes like this, because he was mixing frequencies. So it really, really made the pathogen, you know, he found the specific note, I'll put it that way, just like the opera singer finds a specific note that breaks a glass. Royal Rife found a specific note that destroyed a pathogen. Now, the harmful frequencies, I'm going to get into this, actually is the stuff that's coming out of your cell phone. I shouldn't laugh about that, but that stuff's not really good for the body. Actually, they showed where you're next to a cell phone, your blood, the cells, the red blood cells clump together. I've seen studies on that. And it's harmful to the cells when you're getting up to the millions of hertz, megahertz, like 900 megahertz, 1800 megahertz, 1900 megahertz. That's like cell phone territory. That stuff's bad for you. Now, this is real low stuff. It's like around the Earth frequencies and stuff, but it's also, there's certain frequencies that the parasites don't like. That's not Dr. Bob Beck talk, but, you know, I have to say that Bob Beck knew a hell of a lot more than he let on about talking about a zapper. You know, that square wave zapper does some stuff, but, you know, it's quite obviously he knew a hell of a lot more, because back in 1963, which I recently found out, he was able to take one of Georges Lakowski's machines, that was the multi-frequency machine, that was touted to, actually it said in the hospitals, he had a 98% success rate with terminally ill people with cancer and these other life-threatening diseases using that machine. And Robert Beck, Robert C. Beck, Bob Beck, which other people couldn't do, he was able to put that machine together in a matter of several hours, like from, you know, what was left of it, you know. He was able to get it up and running, and he found out it wasn't a hoax back in '63. So, you know, when you look around on YouTube about what he knows, you ain't finding out too much stuff. You're finding out a tiny, tiny bit. And I'm kind of wondering what he didn't tell us. But anyway, I got this idea about taking two blood electrification devices like this. And, you know, you notice I have them on with the red lights going off and on. They're both on 10 hertz. And I got them on the wrist. Right here, it's like, you can see there's two wires, one from each unit, going on a stainless steel electrode, and the electrode goes next to, well, it's not on the skin, it's wrapped, there's cloth, wet cloth wrapped around the electrode, so I don't have bare metal touching the skin, and that electrifies the blood. And this red light shows that, like if I take one of these off, you'll see the red light goes off on that unit, put it back on, and it goes back on again. It tells me like it's going through the body, through the blood, at a certain real low amperage. It's 190 microamps, millionths of an amp, very small. Okay, very small amount of current. That current is, that that number is used because that was one of the currents they used. They discovered that inactivates microbes temporarily for like maybe good 24 hours. They found that out in the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, New York City, in the early 90s. But you know what I started thinking is, why limit it to 3.915 hertz? Now, I know this device, you could put it on 10 hertz, 40 hertz, or to 3.915, right? Well, if you mix the two currents, though, see, this is getting a little bit more like, slightly like Lukovsky might have been doing, because he was mixing lots of frequencies, but he was delivering them through the air, basically with, it was actually going through like with a magnetic field or something, an electromagnetic field. This is actually contacting the body. This is getting in the body by contacting it. It's different from what Lukovsky did. But I'm thinking, why not mix even two frequencies? So if I have 10 hertz mixed with 10 hertz, it could be making a lot more, it would be making a lot more frequencies. And various things in the body, it has various benefits. And various parasites don't like that. When you actually start harming the cells of the body is when you get way up there in lots of millions of frequencies. That's what's harmful for the cells. Actually, the body's cells, from what I've read, resonate at 10,000 hertz or 10 kilohertz, not 10 million or 100 million or 900 million hertz. 10,000 hertz. 10,000 hertz is supposedly a very common beneficial frequency that's put out there. That's, in the alternative medicine world, whatever you want to call it, or whatever, if that's medicine or whatever it is, the alternative experimental world. But I started thinking, I says, if there was a device that had 2 Beck units in it, and maybe it was even adjustable because with readouts on it, like digital readouts with a frequency counter, you can mix the frequencies any way you want. And if it was timed, because actually it doesn't really matter, as long as if you're going from, say, frequency of 5 to 1,000, you're covering a hell of a lot of stuff. That's the way I look at it. Now, by using 10 and 10 together, it could be 10, it could be, it could be going at 50, there could be different spikes going on at all types of different frequencies. It won't be just 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It'll be all kinds of various spikes because this stuff is not that accurate. It's going off in different types. One might be going off at, at this type interval, and the one's going off right here, and it's going off 10 right here. It's all different intervals. And then the waves are hitting together. So you might have a big spike because 2 waves are hitting at the same time. So that'll be 20 hertz. It'll be going at 20 hertz. Every other time it hits, another wave is hitting another wave. So it's actually producing a lot of different waves, I'm thinking. Now, and that would be the way to actually make a really versatile zapper, because you want to actually mix a lot of frequencies at once. So you got all kinds of crap going on, and keep them in a low frequency world where the parasites don't like that stuff. Like parasites generally don't like, a lot of the lower frequencies. Some of the common ones that are touted to harm parasites are like 880, 464 and 465 are against like fungal type issues, and they seem to work. Even just a plain square wave. 20 is another good one. 727, 787, and also I talked about the 10,000, which is I don't know if that's a regenerative effect, because a lot of this stuff is like theory, but it's becoming where there's getting to be a lot of people that have been experimenting with it. It's not just becoming a theory, it's almost like becoming an unprofessional body of science. It's almost becoming that way. Because if you take up all these things that people said it does, and some of these things start overlapping, and some of these frequencies seem to be more beneficial than others, there's probably truth to it. But I started coming up with the idea is why not mix frequencies instead of like doing sweeps where you're going on one frequency to another frequency to another frequency. Why not mix them? Why not even just mix two frequencies? You don't have to mix 6 or 4 or 10 or whatever. Just mix two. Just mix two. That might be an awesome product, and maybe I might get into doing some of this and experimenting with it, where you make 2 Robert Beck type bite devices, and you have an adjustable, resistor in it, where you can adjust the frequency for the timer, because you got an adjustable resistor, and you have a frequency counter for each one of the timers, and then it comes out and it mixes. Why not just do that with 2? That might be a pretty simple device to build, wouldn't it? Now the thing is, I don't know how effective it would be. That's the thing. But I'm thinking it might be pretty damn effective, because you seem to be covering a lot of different frequencies that parasites don't like, that the body likes. It's all the low stuff. The stuff that's harmful to the body, it's like, it's almost like if you sold that as, I'm not going to sell it, I'm going to experiment with it. I'm probably going to make one for myself or whatever, see how it works. But the thing is, if you told people with a sale, like, if I was saying we made that thing and I said, yeah, this is going to hit all the frequencies and, it should knock out a lot of microbes, the FDA would be like all down you for that crap. But if you were like selling a cell phone and you're telling people it's safe, it's no problem, right? And it ain't safe. It ain't safe. The thing is, the worst thing about this stuff with the microelectricity is if a person gets sold on it like it's a miracle cure, and it ain't, and they depend upon it, and they die, or they get messed up pretty bad, that's freaking bad news. I don't know how much this would actually do. It actually would need a purely scientific study done on it. But there's nobody's going to be doing that, because it's going to put them out of business. So that's how it's going to be from now on for a long period of time. It's going to be experimental mode all the way until the entire medical system freaking breaks down from going broke. Then it might come about and people will start looking at this stuff. But it seems to me that if you're running 2 Beck devices and they're both adjustable, like you can change the frequency from 3.9 all the way up to 80 or something, or 50, and you can do that on both of them, and you got 2 timers in it, and it's mixing the frequencies, and you got 2 frequency counters that show you what they're mixing them at. I assume you'd be able to put that into some kind of formulas on a spreadsheet and tell you what the output would be without even using an oscilloscope, what kind of frequencies that thing would be putting out. And I think that would be more effective. It's a theory. I'm putting out a theory. But it looks like these simple square wave zappers kind of help in certain things. But if you really wanted something that's going to really like help a lot more, is why not have zappers that hit a whole bunch of frequencies in a short period of time? I think that's why that Lukowski device works so damn good. And Royal Rice, I think Lukowski's was probably better, because basically he wasn't just concentrating on, zapping a specific parasite. He was trying to heal the body itself, bring the frequencies of the body up, and then the body would be stronger. It has a boost, and then it overcomes whatever's going on wrong naturally, 100% naturally. Actually, I think Lukowski's idea was right on the money all the way. So I almost think that maybe 2 Beck devices, even on a half Schumann Earth frequencies running simultaneously, I don't know how that would work. Maybe some engineer could tell me better, but I'm throwing an idea out here that might give an idea for a very cheap, simple, very effective zapper. And these zappers are contact devices. They don't work by, radio waves or like magnetism entering into the body and stuff. It works by contact and bringing the electricity in the square wave current into the body itself, into the blood or into the organ or whatever. But you know, these low waves are okay. They're not harmful. It's the stuff that's actually harmful is the stuff that people use every day, like their cell phone, which is amazing. It's amazing. I don't know, you know, it's actually the FDA ought to be getting after these cell phone manufacturers and making them put a shield on that thing so it don't go directly in your head. That's ridiculous. That should be. It's probably cost them $5 more or $2 more per phone to do that. But you know, they won't do it unless the government makes them do it. And it looks like the big money is kind of controlling the government in some ways. And you know, that's the same way with the medical people. So, you know, I don't know if these are medical devices per se, but they seem to be beneficial devices. And I'm just trying to think of a way to make them even more beneficial. It might be true, it may not be true. Because I'm thinking you could possibly mix these frequencies, and then you could be getting a hell of a lot of different frequencies coming out as a result, and covering a broad spectrum of that frequency list that zaps parasites that they don't like, right? So, it's an idea, I'm throwing it out there. It might be cool, may not be cool, but I'm not sure. But thing is, I'm not hearing too many people say anything about it. And the thing is, I want to put something out there that's so simple that anybody can put it together. In other words, two Robert Beck devices are easy to put together. It's also easy to put a variable resistor in it that you can change it, and it's also pretty easy to put a frequency timer on it, and you can put two in one box where it comes out in one spot. The thing is, I'm not sure as to what kind of beneficial net result that might have. In theory, it seems like it would put out a hell of a lot more frequencies and thus present an environment that's, you know, bad for the microbes, right? Just like Glukowski's advice did, you know? So, it's a theory. I don't know if it's true. But you know, it doesn't get into rocket scientists to build it. That's the thing I'm pointing out. Because some of the stuff they try to, you know, push in the alternative world costs like $1,000 because they want to sell you like, you know, special argon glass, you know, freaking tubes and vacuum tubes and all this other garbage, and, you know, $5,000 frequency generators and all this other stuff. Without, you know, without actually getting something like, you know, it's maybe a few $100, right? At most. So I'm trying to put out a cheap idea for everybody, you know. May be a good idea, it may not. I don't know. It sounds good on the surface, but that don't mean nothing until it's tested. And, you know, I guess it's going to take some real doctors to test this stuff when Obamacare starts going broke, because this, in my opinion, this healing with frequencies, or helping the body, you know, heal itself with frequencies, is the wave of the future, and it's going to be the main emphasis of medicine. I don't think all chemical medicine is going to disappear, but it's the main part of medicine is actually going to be with this electrification, magnetism, and all this type of stuff, and healing with frequencies. So it's the wave of the future. But, you know, in the meantime, maybe we can make something simple that works better than the simple zappers by mixing a couple frequencies that are adjustable. I don't know.